There are some goodbyes that don't happen all at once. They happen slowly, in silence, in confusion, and in moments where you start to feel like you are no longer yourself. I lost a friend not because of one moment, but because of control that slowly changed the way he spoke, the way he saw me, and the way he tried to define who I was becoming. At first, I thought I could understand it. I thought maybe he was hurting, maybe he just didn't know how to express it. But then the words started to shift. The conversations stopped feeling like friendship and started feeling like pressure, like I was being shaped into something I never agreed to become. And then came the letter. There were things in it that stayed with me, not because they were true, but because they were heavy. Accusations wrapped in emotion, care that didn't feel like care anymore. It felt like control. And I remember sitting there thinking, I'm losing a friend. But the harder truth came quietly after that. I wasn't just losing a friend, I was starting to lose myself inside the version of me that was expected to stay, to fix, to absorb things that weren't mine to carry. And that is the part people don't talk about enough. Because losing a friend hurts, but losing yourself inside a connection that confuses love with control, that is something deeper, something that shakes you, something that makes you question your own memory, your own feelings, your own voice. And something I've learned through this is this: you should not have to constantly fight to be heard. You should not have to raise your voice just to have your feelings taken seriously. When someone is truly in your life as a friend, you are included in the way the future is talked about. Your voice matters in the plans being made, not as an afterthought, but as part of the conversation. You don't have to argue to prove what hurts you is real. You don't have to defend your emotions just to be understood. And you should never feel like respect is something you have to earn through exhaustion. Because when connection turns into control, it often starts to look like ultimatums instead of understanding, like pressure instead of listening, like someone trying to shape your choices instead of respecting them. And when someone is always the one doing all the talking, all the deciding, and all the planning, that's something to pay attention to. Because in a healthy connection, your voice isn't optional. Someone who loves you and respects you will want your input. They will want to hear what you think, how you feel, and what matters to you. Not because they have to, but because they value you. You shouldn't feel like you're being spoken over instead of spoken with. You shouldn't feel rolled over in decisions that affect your life, your time, or your future. Real respect makes space, it doesn't dominate it. And over time, you start to notice the difference between someone who is building something with you and someone who is just directing you through it. One feels like partnership, the other feels like control. But the hardest part of all of this is that leaving doesn't always feel like relief at first. It feels like grief, because even when something is hurting you, you still grieve what you hoped it would be. But slowly, I started to understand something important. Real friendship does not ask you to shrink yourself. It does not rewrite your reality. It does not make you feel guilty for having boundaries. And I had to choose something I had avoided for a long time, not just letting go of a friend, but returning to myself, because I can miss someone and still choose not to lose myself again. And maybe that's the real healing, not forgetting what happened, but remembering who you were before you started disappearing inside it.